All right, this week's question of the week, we're going to tackle a situation that somebody sent me a video of a coach parent at a jiu-jitsu tournament, and this person is coaching their student, their child, against another competitor, which was a 9-year-old girl. And the 9-year-old girl wins the match. And then, as customary in jiu-jitsu tournaments, the 9-year-old girl not only shook her opponent's hand, but then walked to the opponent's coach to shake their hand, and it's just a tradition for a good match. This coach / parent decided they was going to refuse. They refused to shake the child's hand. And not only that, but then stuck a middle finger in the child's face. And it's like, wow. And then a friend of mine, Rudy, who's a phenomenal competitor here in San Antonio, he made a post yesterday and he said, if you're a parent and you're at a jiu-jitsu tournament and you're screaming and cheering for your child to injure another child, you're a POS. So, and I agree with Rudy, 100%. And it leads me to this week's topic. And if I have to explain to you why this father coach who wouldn't shake the 9-year-old girl's hand and then stuck his middle finger in her face is wrong, then it's like, or why cheering for your child to injure another child in a youth tournament is wrong, then the issues that you have are deeper and more complex than I can possibly explain in this video. Just outrageous, and it just stuns me when I see this kind of behavior. And the thing is people say, kids today are different. They're undisciplined, or they lack effort, or they're disrespectful. And I disagree. Kids today are as motivated and as interested and have the potential to do great things as kids in any generation in history. The problem, as these two previous incidents that I have described, it's not the kids, it's the parents. The parents are the problem. Parents today, especially in youth sports, and we're not just talking about, in this case, I'm talking about a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament. But it doesn't matter what the youth sport is. Sit in the stands of any youth baseball, football, basketball, tennis, hockey, soccer, and listen to those parents in the stand and what they got to say. And then, when you realize where the problem is, because every time I see a disrespectful child or a child that is in trouble, I don't blame the child. I look right at the parent. I'm like, that's where the problem is. It's parents not giving kids boundaries, not setting expectations, along with limits and rewards and consequences. It's those parents that's causing the problem that we're seeing with our children, whether that's in youth sports or just in society in general. I think, as the comedian George Carlin once pointed out, if your child is disrespectful and rude, it's not the school's problem. It's not the school's fault. It's not the video game's fault. It's not society's fault. It's your fault. You're the one doing it. You're the one that's allowing this to happen. You're the one that's instilling these values. Could you imagine the values that the father who had the middle finger to a 9-year-old child, like his child is learning from him? Like, oh my gosh, like, how can we be surprised that the child is going to have problems? It's for sure. You're like, of course they're going to have problems. So I want to look at that. And as parents, as teachers, it's setting those expectations, setting the standards for the kids, and realizing that the problem is not the kids, it's the parents. And so when I saw the video of that father doing that to that poor child, or when Rudy was talking about parents cheering on injuries, it's like, that's the problem, these parents. So if you're a parent, do better. Be more invested in your children. Love your children. Your children want to be loved. They want guidance. They want to learn their boundaries. They want to learn expectations. They want you to invest your time in them. And think about what you're doing to your children when you neglect them, or when you give them bad values, or you don't reinforce good behavior. There's an old saying, if you defend your children's misbehavior all the time, one day you'll have to hire a lawyer when they become an adult to defend their criminal behavior. So set the expectations early. Raise your children right. Invest yourself in your children. Love on them. And don't be an embarrassment to your child. Because I can't even imagine the embarrassment the child of this man has. It's like, that's your father. The adult that stuck a middle finger in a 9-year-old girl's face over a sporting event. That's your father. Can you imagine what the other kids in school are going to say? The other kids in training? Can you imagine? I can't. So don't be an embarrassment to your child either. And realize that these sporting events are for the kids. They're not for you. They're not for you to relive your childhood. Let kids be kids. Let them enjoy themselves. And don't bring that nonsense into it. All right. That's all I got for this week. Got a question for next week? Feel free to fire below. Or your experience in raising your children. Feel free to share below what you've done, or some of your insights in raising productive young citizens and not being an embarrassment to your child. All right. Ciao.